So what part of the Bible do you feel like has been interpreted? Most all of it. Most all of it's not correct. What part would you say?
The parts is missing.
Okay, so we got those two. We got these two. This is what they look out after King David. That's what it means for King David. You understand? So, which part of the Bible would you say?
They gave us a book to
keep us in slavery.
They made us keep better slaves.
Right. So what you're doing is right here. You're dealing with interpretation. I believe right. You're going into interpretation. They told you to be a master of your law. To obey your laws. They told you to that makes sense. Okay. So the interpretation is that makes sense. Is anything else that stumbled you a little bit in the Bible?
Not necessarily, like I said, I believe the Bible is
it's perfect. Right. The book is perfect. It's the people interpreting that book to you.
Right.
Who telling you to be a good slave master. That's not what he's talking about. He was telling you, you work for somebody, you be a good employee. Don't be sleeping around with you so you don't understand. That's what the book is teaching us. That makes sense? Right. So who is God to God? Who is he to God? Who is God to God? Is he the God? He's the God of the slave. He's the God of the black man enslaved and the white man enslaved.
I believe it's God of everybody.
Right.
You said it's not the God of the white people, but it's just they're not following God. They think they follow their God's will, but God,
they're not following God's will.
In their mind.
What in God's mind are they following God's will? Let me get Joel to consider.
In my mind, because did God tell them to enslave us?
Say it again.
Did God tell them to enslave us, kill us?
God. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something. Then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you this first. Then I'm gonna show you that God is controlling everybody. So yes, God made them do what they did. Who created evil? Right, man? God. Right. God created evil. So all the evil that's done, except the righteous done, God is in control. But let's see who God's God of. Joel 2:27. Listen to the Bible.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 27. Ye shall know that I'm in the midst of Israel.
God is in the middle of Israel people.
And I'm the Lord your God.
What did God say?
And I'm the Lord your God.
What did God tell the Israelites?
And that I'm the Lord your God. And none else.
Chinese people.
And none else. And none else.
Christians.
And none else.
Catholic Church.
None else.
God just said. Read that again.
And ye shall know that I'm in the midst of Israel. And that I'm the Lord your God. And none else.
And who else?
And none else.
And everybody else.
And none else.
And anybody else.
And none else.
According to God, he's the God of Israel. And who else? It's a reason why they taught you what you said. He's the God of all. That's a lie. Who did he send his son here to save? See, now it's starting to make sense. Let's see what Jesus said. You know what red letter mean in the Bible when it's red letter? That's when Jesus is speaking, right? Right. That's when Jesus. We're talking about the Bible. Come on and get this. Come on, you're an Israelite. I want to show you in the Bible you're an Israelite. Come on and park your car and get this information, brother. All right? Park your car and get this, bro. Just go ahead and read this.
It ain't gonna hurt.
This is what Jesus said. We got Matthew 15:24. All right. Listen, brother. This is what the Messiah is going to say to us right now. Bring it up.
Chapter 15 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
What did the Messiah say?
I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
What did the Son of God say?
I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
According to Jesus' red letter, who is he saying? It's a reason why they told you everybody. It's a reason, brother. It's a reason. So, who did he die for? Let's get it. Let's get it out of God's mouth. So you know we're not lying. Acts chapter 5, verse 29. I'm telling you, it's the Bible, bro. We're not making this up. This is not a new book. We didn't write this. This is from God. Bring it out.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 29.
Bring it out.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man.
You agree with Peter and the other apostles that were spoken about God. They say anything. That's what God said. Read.
The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom ye slew and hung on a tree.
So do we agree that they killed and crucified the Messiah, the Son of God? He's going to tell you who he died for. The Father going to tell you who he died for. Go ahead.
Him have God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior.
We agree that the Christ is a prince and a savior. He's a prince because he's the son of the king of God. He's a savior because he just told you he couldn't save his people. He came from him. Let's see who the prince and the savior in Christ died for. Read.
For to give repentance to Israel.
To who?
To Israel.
Everybody.
To Israel.
Christians.
To Israel.
Catholics.
To Israel.
Muslims.
To Israel.
The white man.
To Israel.
According to God, who his son died for. And
forgiveness of sins.
and forgiveness of sin, according to the Bible. There's a reason why you thought that he died for everybody. It's a reason. These people on this sign. So we don't know you, right? We never met you. You don't know me. I don't know you. But we know for a fact you have something in common with these people right here. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. This man's a Native American Indian. That's what God called him. I'm African American. You African American? Your father African American? The white man called you a Negro, which means black. God called you an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. We know something. We know many things about you. I'm going to tell you one thing that you have in common with all these people that no other nation have. Tell me I'm lying. You got the name. How do I know that? If I ask a Chinese man, you got a cracker? He'll say nope. A Japanese, nope. An African, nope. Arab, nope. None of those people got names of crackers. And they're not white. That's a curse on our people. We've been cursed because we didn't keep the laws of God. Moses told us this is going to happen to us, brother. He told us that. Give me Psalms 83 and 2. You understand this? What we're showing you today.
Absolutely.
You call yourself African American, correct?
No, I don't. Necessarily. I mean,
What did you call yourself? Black?
you have to call myself black.
Where's the land of black?
We don't have one.
There ain't no such place.
Yes.
But you identify in this world as African American, correct?
I mean, yeah, when you sign the paper.
Right.
Yeah.
That's who America's named after. America Vespucci. He's an Italian map maker. He named America.
Okay.
That's who you claim to be when you say you're American. That he had slaves, brother. He had a slave ship with slaves on it. And he was raping the women and he was raping the man. It's called buck breaking. He was raping the men and the women. That's America.
I've heard of it before.
Scipio Africanus. Is the word Africa in the Bible?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is the word Africa in the Bible?
No, sir.
Out of all the books in the Bible, Africa is never mentioned in the Bible. This is who Africa is named after. Scipio Africanus. Scipio Africanus. He's a white man, a Roman general. He took the land of Ham and called it Africa. You understand that? When you say you're African American, you say you come from these two white men who both had slaves. He called them niggas every day and raped them. This is what your God is going to tell you. These white people, Chinese people, Japanese people, Africans, Arabs, what they did to you. Read.
Psalm chapter 83 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Your enemies have come into power and they're making a real loud sound. Go ahead. Your enemies. All nations are your enemies. All the Gentiles. The Gentiles are the people that's not on this sign. You're not on this sign as an Israelite, you're a Gentile. All the Gentiles hate you. They all profited from your slavery. Don't think it's just a white man. They all profited. The so-called Jewish man, they paid for the slave ship that's brought us here. The Jewish people, they pay. They're not real Jews. They pay for the slave ship. Read that.
And they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
God said all of them hate us. And they'll come into power now. Because one time, brother, we were in power. Now they're in power. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
You know what crafty counsel is? Let me give you an example of crafty counsel. When you walk into a job site, you're working. A bunch of niggas working. You got two white men in the back trying to figure out how to That's crafty counsel. Your God is saying that we're going to go back to crafty counsel. Read that again. Against what?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Against thy people. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
God calls us the hidden ones because those people thought you like hidden. They took you like this. That's not a real thing. It's a white man. Read.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
What did they say?
Come and let us cut them off from being a
They
nation.
got together and said that niggas, African Americans, Indians, Hispanics, we're going to make them think they're minorities. They're not. They're the children. God, read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
What did they say?
That the name of Israel may be no more in
What
remembrance.
did the white man say?
That the name of Israel may be no more in
What
remembrance.
did the Chinese man say?
That the name of Israel may be no more in
The
remembrance.
minute you call yourself black or American or nigger, that's when you are dying. You are not black. You are not American. You are an Israelite. Read.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
Read.
They are confederate against thee.
They are against all of us. Read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Now God is going to tell you the people that did this to you. The tabernacles of who?
The tabernacles of Edom.
That's the white man. That is his biblical nationality. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
The Israelites are the Arabs. They profited from your slavery. Read.
Of Moab.
Moab are the Chinese people. They made money off of your black behinds. Read.
And the Hagarenes.
Read.
Gabal.
Africans made money off of you. Africans never sold Africans. They sold Israelites. Read. Ammon, Moab, those are Chinese. Ammon is the Japanese. Read.
Amalek.
Who?
Amalek.
Amalek. Those are the people. Israel right now. Amalek. The Jewish. Israeli. You understand that? They paid for the slaves that brought us here. Amalek. Remember that thing? You understand that? Let's go to Revelation 2:9. Amalek. They're the people in Israel right now calling themselves Jewish. Israeli. You understand that? You have a son? Yes, sir. If your son was wearing a dress, and I see your son acting girlish, does that mean he's a girl or acting like a girl? They acting like Jews. That's why they call themselves Jewish. Read. This is what your God wants you to know, brother. Read that.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9.
Read.
I know thy works.
God is saying you know your works. You know you ain't keeping commandments because I ain't told you to. They never even told you to do nothing right. They told you African American and niggas and Spicks and American Indians. Read.
And tribulation.
God knows your tribulation because he's putting you in this situation because you didn't keep the commandments as a whole. Moses told us to keep the laws. Refute. That's why God punished us, brother. Read.
And poverty.
You know you poor because they made you poor. You smarter than the average white man. But why? You ain't got nothing, man. God did that to us. You are smarter than a cracker. God tells us that. You understand that? They're not better than us. They can't. Who cooked them better? They cook better than your mama. They dress better than us. Their music is better than us. What the hell they do better than us? We're God's people, man. That's the only reason why everything that's been invented, we made it. Read.
But thou art rich.
But you're really rich. You don't know what you think is African American. You speak or Indian. Read.
And I know the blasphemy of them,
I know the lies. That's what blasphemy. I know the lies of them.
which say they are Jews
Those people who lie saying that they are Jews when they not. Go ahead.
and are not.
They're not even Jews, brother. Those people in Israel are not even Jews. Now God's going to tell you what they are. Read.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
What did God say?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
What did the Lord say?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
God said they're the synagogue of Satan. They stole your identity, brother. They're the church of the devil. They're not even Jews. You are a Jew. You're on the tribe of Judah. You're actually right. You understand that? We look just like the Father, the Most High. What does Jesus look like? He look like a white man? How does Jesus look? Right. Let's get there. Is Jesus my complexion, his complexion, your complexion? He's somewhere in there. I noticed you looked at him. He's there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get his true identity, just so we know for a fact. Because you're close, but let's get you there. Bring it out in Revelation 1.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Revelation. The root word is revealed. We're going to reveal the Messiah. John is being shown the future. At the end of the day, what we want to see right now is what Christ will do. Let's scroll down to verse 13. Let's see what Christ will do.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one likened it to the Son of Man.
John sees the Son of Man. That's Christ. He calls himself Son of Man because he came to us to the seed line of a man. From David, Solomon, all the way down to Joseph and Mary, to the seed line of a man. That's why he calls himself Son of Man. Read.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
The Messiah is in a garment all the way down to his feet. John can see his face and his feet. He's covered down with a garment like this. Read.
And girded about the paps with a golden girdle.
Messiah is wearing a gold belt around his waist. Read.
And his hairs were white like wool.
He said, look, he got one hair. He got nappy fro. The Messiah has a nappy fro. Read.
As white as snow.
We call it gray, but he called it white, which is really white. It ain't gray, it's white. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
We read Genesis 49:11-12 chapter. It tells you that he got red eyes because he drank a lot of wine in moderation. You understand that? Read.
And his feet.
Now he's going to tell you his complexion. I'm sorry. Read.
His feet like it's a fine brass.
What color is bread? It's a derivative of brown, like a penny. It's a derivative of brown. Does that make sense? Yep. Me and his brother, we're brown, both brown, but we're different complexion of brown. A little darker, a little lighter. Let's see the complexion. Come on, read that from the top, that brass.
And his feet like it's a fine brass.
Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Read that again.
And his feet like it's a fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Messiah is so black, he's like he's been burnt. If you burn anything, no matter what color it is, you burn it, what color it's going to be? He's black! The Messiah is a black man with a nappy afro. They lied. What is God? That's the Messiah. I'm asking you, what is God?
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9.
If you go to church, brother, if you go to church, they'll tell you God ain't nothing. It's a goat. He's nothing. That's what they would tell you. Bring it out.
I beheld till the thrones was cast
So
down.
God is showing Daniel, like he showed John, God is showing Daniel the future. Daniel is writing this down. He said, I beheld till the throne was cast down. So Daniel's writing, I'm looking, God showing me as he's tearing down all governments. American government, China, Russia, all these governments being torn down. Read that again.
I beheld till the thrones was cast down.
Daniel's looking as he watched God tear all these kingdoms down in the future. Read.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Read that again.
And the Ancients of Days did sit.
Who is older than day one? Who's never created? Could it be Jesus? Jesus was created, right? So he was created after day one, right? He has no beginning. The only entity on this planet that has no beginning, older than day one, is God. We agree. Read that again.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
So Daniel is looking and seeing God sit. So that means God has a body because he's sitting. Read.
Whose garment was white as snow.
God has on a garment all white. This is your garment. That makes sense? Read.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
God has a nappy fro. You understand that? God has a nappy fro, brother, and a beard. Let's see his complexion. Let's go to Revelation 4:3. We're going to get God's complexion. Let's see what complexion God is.
Revelation chapter 4 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone.
So John is writing Revelation 4:3 saying God, he see God, he's the complexion of a jasper and sardine stone. So John is telling you he's the complexion of a jasper and sardine stone, so we can know the complexion of God. Like he's using whatever he can use to show you the complexion of God. Jasper and sardine stone. This is the complexion of your God. Jasper, sardine. You understand that? You know how we are a little darker here, a little lighter here? That's your God. So the Messiah, he's black and already black. But your God, he's high. That's your God. Never let somebody tell you God ain't gonna be like that. You understand that? You got any questions, brother? What's next? What's next? Let's prove you're an Israelite. Let's prove that, all right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 1 and let's do 29 and 1. Deuteronomy 29 and 1. Let's prove you're an Israelite now. Because we know God's God of Israel. We know his son came for the Israelite. His son died for the Israelite. They lied to you about these things. God told you that what they did to you, how they made you not even remember who you are anymore. Let's prove that you're the people of God.
Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
God made a covenant with the children of Israel. Covenant is an agreement. Agreement to do the commandments. The first 5 books of the Bible is called the Torah. There's all the laws in here. These are the laws that we agreed to. The first 5 books of the Bible is called the Torah. Moses gave us the laws. It's more than 10 commandments. They lied to you. It's more. So the covenants are the agreement. That's what a covenant is. We make the agreement with God to keep his laws. Read that again.
These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
He only dealt with the Israelites. That makes sense? That's what I wanted you to see. Now, we're going to go. Do you remember how Moses, he had to go get the Israelites out of Egypt? Remember God sent them there? What were the Israelites doing in Egypt?
The Israelites
Doing in Egypt, where Moses had to go get them. God said, go get my people.
What they doing is slaves?
They were slaves. You understand that? So God told Moses, go get my people. And Moses went and got the Israelites. He had to keep them back and forth until he got them. And he walked through the Red Sea. God parted the sea. They went through the sea, went through the desert, and they went to the wilderness for 40 years. That's when God gave us the first 5 books of the Bible, the laws of God. And it's more than 10. That makes sense? So God said, keep the commandments. So now, let's go to Deuteronomy 28:1. Now, we're going to go into the conversation inside the book when Moses was giving us the law. We're going to go into that conversation. And in that conversation that Moses had with the Israelites in the wilderness, that's going to tell us today who the Israelites are today. In this conversation with Moses having with God, the Israelites, it's going to tell you who they are. Because they don't know who they are. You understand? Moses, fake people,
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So God told the Israelites, if you do all my commandments, I'm going to put you in the book. Everybody. They don't want you to know that. All you got to do is keep the commandments. And God's going to put you in the book. Everybody. I don't want to bless you. God is going to bless us with all the blessings. Now, what happens if we don't keep the commandments? Let's go on to verse 15. Let's see what happens if we don't keep the commandments, which we didn't. Let's see what's going to happen.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You understand that? If you don't keep the commandments, you're going to be first. So we're going to read some of these curses that God put on the Israelites own. Whatever nation fit these curses, that's the Israelites are today. That makes sense? Because he only cursed one nation, his people. Let's see what these curses are. Let's get the first curse.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
The first curse will be cursed in the city. So you're a traveling man. Have you traveled down to Florida, even on the West Coast?
Not all the way.
Okay, so I've been all the way up to Canada, all the way down to Florida. I've been inner city ghettos. If you go to West Coast, East Coast, inner city ghettos, what people are going to be in the inner city ghettos? In poverty. Right, blacks and Spics. Yeah. We agree. Right, you go to the Bronx, a lot of Spics up there, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, all up in there. That makes sense? East, West Coast, Latino brothers, all of them in the ghettos with black brothers. Blacks and Hispanics. So that's check 1. We're cursed in the city. That's an Israelite curse. Check 2, 16.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who's cursed in the field? Who had to be cotton from sun up to sundown? Who got their backs beaten in by the oppressor? Who had to deal with these things? Hispanic people had to work in the sugarcane fields and the tobacco fields. They were on stage since 1492. We came here in 1619. Blacks and Hispanics. He was already here. The Gad, American Indians, he was already here. And they put him on ships and spread him around and destroyed him. That makes sense? That's the second shit that happened to us. Correct? Let's get another curse. Let's go down to 30. So far, we get the checks. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
So who got a wife, and the white man come in and have sex with your wife, you could do nothing about it. What did it happen to niggas and Spics? What did it happen to everybody else? Nobody but niggas and Spics. Another man would take care of the wife. That makes sense? Who built houses? A nation of people who built houses they can't afford to live. Is that white, the nation of white people? The nation of Chinese? Africans, you don't see a whole bunch of Africans while they eat food. That's niggas that stinks. True? Read that last one. Thou shalt what? Plant what?
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
You got stores of this. How many times we go to car wash? How many times we go to a business? Pedro got 2 convenience stores and a grocery store. He's still broke. White man make more money off of you than you make off your own business. That's what perfect. What happened to us with them? Exactly. Check. Let's get another. So far, who the Israelites so far? Exactly. All praises, brother. Let me give you a couple more. So, okay, what we doing in Egypt? Slaves. Right? So go to 54 real quick. Go to 54. Check this out.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 54.
Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother.
Now you heard the black on black crime. Moses said y'all gonna go from loving each other. Back in the day, you can go to a mall and speak around with your brother. We want that too. Just because y'all niggas! And with the sticks. Same thing. Ain't no such thing as white on white crime. African on African crime. Chinese on Chinese crime. It's niggas. Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the raiment of his children, which he shall leave.
You understand that? Ain't nobody here that cares what niggas is fixed. That's a nation. This is not an individual person. This is a nation. We're the only ones who fucking do this. Again, what we're doing in Egypt. Right. Egypt is synonymous with bondage with slavery. Get that in Exodus 22. Egypt actually literally means slavery. It means bondage. House of bondage. Let's get that.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. That's a captivity and slavery. That makes sense? Let's get one more verse. Deuteronomy 28 and 16. One more verse. We got 2 minutes for the word, sister. 2 minutes for God. We are here for you, sister. One more verse. There's a bunch of verses that we can show you. I need some stuff. We can go through a bunch of verses.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Whoever fit these curses got to fit all these curses. Not just one. You got to fit all.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
What the Lord say?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
God said, if you don't keep that, that makes sense. Remember, we go. Read that again from the top and keep going.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Who went to slave ships, brother? Look at that. Look at that. Who went through that? Who went through that? Hispanic, they went into Spain. That's why they speak Espanol. We came here all over the world. Haitians, Jamaica, those are all us. You understand that? We're the only people since Adam and Eve until 2025. We're the only people that went to slave. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
We come here on this planet, on this continent, that's going to be the last time we're going to stay in a slave ship. So this is it. The reason why we're able to teach you these things, because our time is up. Do you understand that? It's a 400-year curse. We came in. The first ship landed in 1619. In 2019, the 400 years was up. We were in Egypt 400 years, plus another 30 to get us out of this. 30 years. We've been here for 40 years plus, so it's time to get out of here. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So God saying, who is here waiting on us? What people, what nation? Wasn't the white man here? The white man was our biggest liar. We came to this place. It was our biggest white man. We got those slave ships.
And there ye shall be sold into your enemies.
To your friend.
To your enemies.
Your brother.
To your enemies.
The white man is a liar. God said he's your enemy. That's what your God said. And it's not just the white man, he's number one. And everybody else. If they're not on this sign, they're Gentile. You thought you were Gentile. Everybody else who are not on this sign, they're Gentile. Read.
For bondman,
slave man,
and bondwoman,
slave woman.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you or redeem the king tried. He tried. Nothing. They shot that brother. You understand that? No man is going to save us. Only the Messiah is going to come back and save us. Who's us? Oh, praise. You understand that? Can I give you a flight? Can I give you 3 commandments? Get Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Now that you know who you really are, an Israelite, what does God require of you? Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul. To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
He's coming back. Messiah, he's coming back. Only 1/3 of us are going to come back. 2/3 of our people are going to die here. You understand that? All over. 1/3 of us are going to come back. This is a long way.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Holy means separate or set apart. That's what holy means. It don't mean nothing else. It means divine. Don't mean it's separate or set apart. It comes from a Hebrew. The Bible's written in Hebrew. It means kadesh. Kadesh is holy. Kadesh, it means separate or set apart. Read that again.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
It's separate from every other day.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
So we can't work on the 7th day. So the Shabbat with the Sabbath is the same thing. Shabbat starts Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. They don't start when the sun comes up. It tells you in Genesis the day starts the day before when the sun goes down. So sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, that's the 7th day. And in that day you can't work, you can't cook, you can't buy or sell anything. You can't do your own like learning more about His word. And coming out here on the 7th, this is what we do. Commanded to do things. That's what we're doing. The first commandment. So it's Friday sundown, Saturday sundown, working and buying or selling. You understand? Cook the day before, you never. That makes sense? Yeah. All right, let's get your second commandment. Let's get Numbers 15 and 38. That's your second commandment.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38.
Bring it out.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
What we're doing.
and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments
These are fringes. Notice everybody got fringes on. These are fringes. That's a commandment of God.
throughout their generations.
Throughout your generation, you said you got sons, you got children. As long as you're making kids, you got to keep wearing these. As long as you're generating, you got to keep wearing these. Read.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders of a ribbon of blue.
Notice how every